Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. It's season 5, Andy, episode number 42 tonight. And tonight's the sports edition. Tonight's August 19th, 2024. How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good. It's middle to late August. Labor Day's around the weekend. The sports are winding down from summer. The baseball's wrapping up. Football, NFL, college is rearing up. It's going to be fun. The Olympics are done. And now we're in the home stretch for baseball postseason, right? We're in the home stretch.
Yes.
For the regular season to make it to the postseason. So a lot of things going on, including NFL football, Andy. 2 weeks have now been completed of the preseason. Every team plays 3 games. 2 are done. 1 week left. Then they all have another week off, and the final cuts are made, and the season begins.
Now, I think the Vikings misunderstand the word cut. You get cut because you're not playing well. You don't have to get injured to get cut. If you just don't want to play anymore, you can say, I don't want to play. You don't have to get hurt.
Yes.
I just don't think they understand that very well.
Yes.
You can take your ball and go home. You don't have to get hurt to not play this year. I don't know if they know that.
It's very interesting. Now, J.J. McCarthy is out for the year.
Yep.
He's the quarterback they picked number 1 in the draft. Moved up. Did they move up, or did they land? It landed in his.
They made some moves, yes,
to get some moves to move up a little. That he ended up falling to them. They got him, the guy that they wanted. First round draft pick J.J. McCarthy from Michigan, national champion quarterback. This guy should be fun to watch. Now, Torres meniscus got injured.
Yep.
To get that all healed in the surgery, he's out for the whole year. He's done, right? And one of the reasons he was, we've got Sam Darnold. We went out and got a veteran guy before all this took place.
They got him before the draft, and they already kind of even said he'd be the starter.
Yes.
So I don't know if that meant all season, to start the season, or how they're going to do that.
There was confusion, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was the pick to become the starter, a veteran guy, a former first-round pick, former number 3 overall pick, big name, so to say. So he's the guy to lead the team. J.J. McCarthy would have, if he would have been healthy, maybe come in half the season or taken some snaps if they were way ahead or way behind or something. Maybe even potentially could have gotten some starts, as you said, later in the season. But right now it's going to be just Sam Darnold. We do have the backups. We still have Jaron Hall, Nick Mullins. I mean, there's still guys there.
The guy from the UFL.
The season is not lost. Some have said the sky is falling. McCarthy's out. That's a little extreme. Sam Darnold's the guy. We should have no problems with that, with our rushing attack and whatnot. He does not have to do too much. He's got great receivers. So the trivia question is going to be about Sam Darnold today. We'll get to the answer of this question at the end of the episode. But what famous personality is his grandfather? His late grandfather is what media personality, or was a media personality, kind of quite famous. And that's his grandfather. So let's kick off with some sports. Andy, take it away.
There's a picture from our ad in the state tournament bracket. You can see Connie's knuckle up there, her hand holding it open there.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Wow, Connie, you got it. But there's our ad. You see it in there? That's us. That's where your hard-earned donations go to something like that, folks. Now,
yeah, so we've got an ad. That's the 101st Minnesota State Amateur Baseball Tournament, and that's the program. That's the program this year. We're featured on page 42, and that's for the B and the C tournament.
Yep.
There, and so that's going on here for 3 weekends. Weekend 1 is completed.
So yeah, someone made this little sign here. All the towns are in it for B there. That's pretty neat. Not up on the iron range. Not too much over there. That's okay though. That's the iron range. Yeah.
Is that B and C? Sorry,
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, did you try the beers, Dan, when you were there?
Yes. I just went to the Jordan game, to the mini met, just for one game. I was busy this weekend, but I did try the Ale Jordan on the left there. There's a picture on the left. Right. It's a blood orange IPA. I'm not a fan of it. I want to try all 4. I knew this wasn't going to be my favorite, but it was good. I had one.
Now, can you get the Bell Planet and the Green Isle beers at Jordan, or do you sell just Jordan?
Yes. So part of the confusion last year, and there was some confusion, is they had 3 sites last year, 3 sites this year, and they make 4 beers. So there's one for each site dedicated to the location. And last year, I believe they were only selling the Litchfield beer at the Litchfield site,
Okay.
the Delano beer at the Delano site, and people wanted to try the others. And they kind of said, well, you got to go there to try them. I don't know if that switched or what through the end of the tournament or not, but this tournament, they're all there. They're all in all the locations. And there's the second one there, as you can see, it's the official logo of the entire tournament itself. So there's a 4th beer, it's just a generic. And so what I saw at the bar is they're selling all 4 at all locations. And I don't know. I don't think they open oh no, they do. They crack the top for you. You can't take them home. So that was another question that was asked by someone. People are collecting these, Andy.
Yep.
They're adding them to their garage, putting them on the shelf, making a collector's item, but you do have to buy them open. You can't, buy a bunch and bring them home to collect.
Did you have trouble autographing them for fans or no?
No.
They autograph pretty easy on
fans
there?
brought their own Sharpies, which they're always told to do, so that
great.
That works. So anyway, I had the Jordan one. I'm looking forward to the other 3 for the next 2 weekends. The Blood Orange IPA, I'm sure people will like that. That's just not my cup of tea, but it certainly was good. It was a hot day and an ice cold brew.
All right, here we go. Here's how kind of go through our brackets. We're not going to break these down too much. Just kind of give you the winners and losers. I think I got the right times here for these games, so correct me if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, look it up yourself. That's your fault for trusting me. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, times subject to change. There, I said it. Okay, Perm and Green are in Cold Springs. Cold Springs does win. They go on to play Jordan. They'll be Friday at 7:30 in the Jordan. Loretto over Atwater. They go on to play Sauk Center. That'll be Saturday in Belle Plaine at 4. St. Bonnie, I don't know if you call that upset over Wanamingo. They go on to play New Ulm. They'll be in Green Isle on Saturday at 6:30. And Buckman, crowd favorite, over Webster. They go on to play Fergus Falls Sunday in Jordan at 1:30. All right. Raymond over Springfield. They'll go out to play YA Friday in Green Isle at 7:30. Union Hill over St. Peter. They'll play Clinton, and they'll play Sunday in Belle Plaine at 4. Farming over Maple Lake, kind of an upset. Maple Lake, I think, was ranked the last few rankings, so it's kind of an upset.
They won last year's entire tournament.
They won the whole thing last year too, yeah.
Yes, so the defending champion is out. Keep in mind, this is single elimination. So as Kip Kovar put on his Twitter page, there will be a new champion crowned this year.
So Farming Fairmount will be Saturday at the Jordan at 6:30. And then Sunday in Jordan at 11 a.m. will be Nisswa and Sartell. Nisswa over Princeton. Waterville over Morris. They're going to play Red Wing. That will be Saturday at 1:30 6:30 in Belle Plaine. Cortland and Isanti. Cortland defeated Richmond. So Cortland and Isanti Saturday, Belle Plaine at 11. St. Joseph over Jackson. They're going to play Buffalo Friday in Belle Plaine at 7:30. And Carver over the Perez Brewers. They're going to play Watkins. So Carver plays Saturday in Green Isle at 4 p.m. Le Sueur over Madison. So they're going to play Bird Island, and that'll be Sunday in Green Isle at 4. Kimball over Laverne. And they'll play Foley Saturday in Jordan at the Mini Met at 4. Bemidji Blue Ox over Litchfield. They're going to play New York Mills. So kind of the northern part of the state gets their little love that afternoon. Sunday in Belle Plaine at 1:30.
Good ball game right there.
Yep. And Sunday in Jordan at the Mini Met at 4 o'clock, Waconia and Montgomery. All 4 7C teams are still in the second round.
So 4 teams are in it from Region 7. 3 played. They all won. The other one got a bye. So going into round 2, all 4 teams are there. And we've said this before as far as Crow River's a tough conference, a tough league.
Yep.
The teams there are tough. If you make the state tournament there, you have potential to go deep in the tournament. So it'll be fun to watch them in week 2.
Go over B here real quick. Your winner is Champlain Park. They'll play Minneapolis, and St. Louis Park will play St. Anthony. Those games will be in Jordan on the 24th, 11 and 1:30 respectively. Next bracket, the Hopkins Berries. They beat Sobolewski. That made me feel good.
Yes, the Skis.
The Skis are out. So Hopkins Berries against the Victoria Vics Saturday at 11 in Greenough, St. Paul Mudhens, and the Meadsville Mudhens. The Mudhen game.
Yes.
I hear that a lot. A lot of people get embarrassed saying that. But 1:30 on the 24th in Greenough. All right. Rochester Royals against Air Freight Unlimited Saturday at 11 in Belle Plaine. Then at 1:30, the Minnetonka Monarchs and the Egan Bandits. Final bracket of the B, Highland Park Beavers and the Lions Pub Warriors Saturday the 25th, or Sunday the 25th in Greenough at 11. Then the 1:30 game in Greenough, the Moorhead Mudcats and the Burnsville Bobcats. Now, I told you this. I know you're not going to like it. And it's a head scratcher, Dan. I just can't figure out society. This is a head scratcher.
Okay.
Player for Boston uses a homophobic slur on Sunday. So the next day, his jersey is the fastest selling one in Major League Baseball on the MLB site.
Yes. I followed
I
this.
didn't understand that. He used a homophobic slur. ESPN, ABC, all the networks, they want him hung up and shot and killed and this and that. And his jersey is on the top selling one. But using homophobic slurs is bad. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing his jersey sold. I'm just confused. Society rips him for using it, so everybody buys his jersey. Now, I didn't see a big Duran jersey burning party somewhere where that's why they bought him. So I don't get it.
So here's the story. Here's my opinion of how it took place.
Okay.
At the game, I believe it was an LBGT sponsored game, or the fans got in cheaper. They're focusing on LBGT.
Okay.
There's a bunch of those fans sitting behind either the dugout or home plate or somewhere near where the dude was batting.
Okay.
He was trying to bat, and during the at-bat, and maybe during, I don't know if it was all his at-bats or just in general, there was a rude section of people yelling negative things at the ball players. This particular player here shown, Duran, got fed up with it and turned around and called him out. The particular guy doing the yelling, and called him out. Now, he made a bad choice of terms, and I'm not going to say it was comical at the same time, but there was some irony. So he lashed back because of the taunting that was going on. So yes, he got suspended. He got in trouble. He had to apologize. I'm not sure what all had to happen.
And he made bank on jersey sales.
But not because, he wasn't thinking ahead, boy, I can really make bank on this, but the support of what he did and how he did it really shined through, because the person doing the yelling and the fans, I guess, was just obnoxious and had it coming. And it was, maybe one could call it the perfect response. Yes, it was rude. I don't want to say.
But you want to play with the big dogs and yell words out, take it back.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like there's always pockets of groups at a stadium, baseball or football, basketball or hockey, that really let certain players have a piece of their mind. And so they let them have it. And sometimes the players confront them or call them out or do something as well. And then the fans like when they go, you're supposed to just ignore it anyway.
Did he cross the line?
They like it. They like it. The fans like it when it goes to that next level. Well, here he did it directly to the fan. And it was very, not comical, but it was the perfect response in that situation. Yes, it was wrong, but enough of the people who liked it thought this was awesome. This was just an awesome thing. I don't think it had anything to do with LGBTQ, whatever it was, but it was just one of those, I'm going to buy your jersey because that was awesome. That was pretty funny. That's a veteran move right there.
Kind of like back in our day, he kind of said a "your mama" joke back at him, and
it was just like that, and he let the guy have it, and that was really it. It was over, but the repercussions was twofold. One was the fine or whatever he had to do because it was wrong. The problem is we're in this woke world, so Major League Baseball doesn't know what to do and how to react, and they have to roll him under the bus and throw him under the bus. ESPN does. All the sports news have got to throw him on the bus because he did this awful thing. But it was warranted. I would say it was warranted.
All right, here's our head scratcher. Going back to stats, 1999, Rafael Palmeiro wins the Gold Glove, and he only played 28 games at first base.
All right. I don't know the backstory here. Did he play?
162 games a year. He played 28 at first base and got the Gold Glove in
So he got the
1999.
Gold Glove for first base, and he played the rest of the season at other positions.
DH probably.
Year?
Yep, DH. I'm guessing, or outfield, but. This is where the stats start getting really weird around 99, 2000. They start creating other stats. And
that's interesting. I did not know that.
And that's not a rip on Palmeiro. Don't blame him.
He did nothing wrong.
Yep.
Except he must have played great defense. But
great defense for 28 games.
He comes into play for I think it's the voters or the writers who make the votes. And the question then is, how could he have possibly won?
There must have been a big stand against other players in the league to
Yeah.
The other baseball
point,
standing.
The other point, and if you go back a step, I just got one thing to say. It just came into my head. When someone to win the batting title, for instance, for the listeners out there that don't know, or maybe they do know, but you need to have 3.1 plate appearances per game. You have to have a certain number of things that you have done to qualify to win it. What Andy's getting at here is that I don't think there is for the Gold Glove, because you would think you'd have to play 100, 120, 140 games, something, not 28.
Yeah.
And so I think there should be something put into place there as far as you can't qualify if you don't reach some kind of threshold.
And I'm going to be curious at the end of the year if they've changed that. We'll have to look that up when the end of the year comes out.
That's a good stat.
It's kind of a homework assignment. It doesn't have a homework. It's be the homework. Yes. Remember this? When the Gold Gloves come out, we'll see what they say. Standings right now in baseball as of this morning. Orioles and Yankees are tied. Whoever doesn't win the division has a 3.5 game lead in the wild card. Boston 7 out in the game for the league first place, 3.5 in the wild card. Guardians are leading. Twins are 2 out. Twins are 1 up in the wild card, and Kansas City's got the other wild card. So we got 3 teams from the mighty Central in the playoffs if they were today. More on the White Sox later. Houston Astros and Mariners. Mariners are 4 out. Mariners have been, wow, they were way up there. They had like a 10-game lead. Houston was like 10 out a while ago, and now they're in front. Mariners are 5.5 at the wild card back, 4 back in the division. Things are not good in Seattle. More on that later. Athletics and Angels tied for last. Here come the Athletics. They're coming.
Wow.
Mets, 9 games out of first, 2 out of that last wild card spot. Atlanta and them have kind of been both playing 500 lately, kind of bouncing back and forth between second and third there. Brewers looking tight, 11-game lead. Watch out. Second place teams below 500, Dan. Pretty sure the Brewers can't really throw this away. They'd have to really try hard to piss this away.
Yeah, and typically a tough division every year.
Right.
This year, very weak.
I mean, not saying they got 3 teams in the playoffs tough, but close in the standings tough. And not now. And out west, Padres and Diamondbacks been playing like gangbusters lately. I mean, even the Giants are at 500 and they're 10.5 back. 500, man, they'd be right in contention up here in the Central.
Interesting.
500, they're 4 out of the wild card. There's the Padres and Diamondbacks out of their 2 good spots there. Speaking of Seattle, the team continues to crash and burn. I think that's where no doubt he's out. Reporters in Seattle kind of want Scott Service gone if they keep losing. It's like, can finish the season. Maybe they had a nice hot run here or something. Just relax.
Well, that's a good point. So Seattle started. Did they start real well, or did they come?
Yeah, they had like a 10-game lead in the division, like just a few games for the All-Star break, and then they've squandered it away.
But I think they started maybe bad, and they went up, they went down, they went up, they went down, and now they're still second in the division. They're on this little down, and I think what you're getting at is hold the throttle on firing the manager. This is not like a last place team. You're still in contention.
Well, they go like 2 steps forward and 4 steps back.
You can't get the itchy trigger finger here on a team that's in the playoffs, right? Are they in or are they close?
Well, they're 4 games out right now, the last wild card spot, but they were 10 games ahead in their divisional deal. They're 4 games out of the wild card, 11 out of first place.
I think it's too soon.
If it was September and you had like 2 weeks to go, still just ride the storm out, but let them know that, hey, coach, you know what? Clean your desk out at the end of the year.
Yeah, there's ways to do this, but I don't know about publicly going after the coach this way. Now, obviously, they want him out. So
I think we mentioned a couple weeks ago, but it is official. The White Sox have been eliminated from playoffs.
Okay.
They're done.
You had mentioned a while
It's
back
the
that
earliest
they were coming up.
Earliest elimination in the wild card or division era.
Makes sense, I guess.
So congratulations to the White Sox. Stat, it's not the 80s Saturday, but Saturday. Joe DiMaggio had 361 home runs during his career. He struck out 369 times.
So, see, that's another good stat.
Like Tony Gwynn type numbers.
Wow.
Just because all I hear is about DiMaggio's good hitter, the 50-game hitting streak, 56-game hitting streak, Marilyn Monroe, flowers at the grave, blah, 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 Mr. Coffee. You don't see this number.
Not a contact guy.
Yes. One birthday to mention. Today's birthday. Of course, I'm going to mention it. It's Ron Darling's birthday.
The ever popular Ron Darling.
Look at that nice clear skin complexion he had back in the day.
Was this one of your bromance guys that you had
in the day? Yes.
Darling,
and now
I
just
think a lot
his
of
voice.
guys.
He's one of the best announcers in baseball. He's on TBS a lot with him and Hernandez and Gary Cohn on the Mets games on their home channel for SNY and Pix 11 and stuff. You get those games. He's very knowledgeable. He's got a great podcast to listen to. Great voice, but yeah.
Ron Darling. Yeah, good announcer, good analyst.
And good news, Ryan Sandberg rang the bell. The Hall of Famer has officially announced he is cancer-free.
Oh, really? Okay.
So congratulations to Rhino.
Wow.
All right. LeBron James crybaby moment of the week.
Okay.
Now, it happened a while ago, but I just saw the story again the other day, so I had to bring it up. In 2016, after LeBron James was seen wearing an Undertaker shirt, WWF or WWE superstar The Undertaker went to a Cleveland Cavaliers game dressed in full costume. LeBron ignored the dead man and later said it's because it's, quote, not cool with someone trying to make money or gain fame through him. So Undertaker decided to get his picture with Kevin Love instead. So Undertaker he wears an Undertaker shirt. LeBron wears an Undertaker shirt. So Taker goes, okay, cool. I'll show up then. He must be cool with me. It'll be kind of cool. Little photo press for both of us. LeBron, no, don't do that. Punk ass bitch.
Oh, it's one of those things you've got to think when you decide to wear that shirt. I'm going to put on that shirt for Undertaker.
Yeah, especially if you're a celebrity, you're kind of telling the other celebrity, hey, I respect you, I like you,
Everything you wear is going to be analyzed under a microscope, especially on a shirt like that with another fellow celeb. Yeah. You can't be then, I'm not a fan of what you're doing.
And here's the other thing. Big Bad Undertaker, Kevin Love's taller than him. Look at that.
Wow.
Okay, sports betting. We've all heard of sports betting. Not for or against it. It's everybody's own thing. One thing I'd never be reporting on or thought I would report on for sports betting. Notre Dame suspended its men's swimming team for betting investigations. Now, I don't know if they were betting on their swimming and diving, which I don't know how you could, or because there were student athletes on betting. Is that what the issue was? I didn't read into it. It took me 15 minutes to stop laughing when I read the headline that Notre Dame suspended men's swim team following betting investigation.
Well, the college as a whole, I don't know about Notre Dame, but is pushing the betting so much, just like Major League Baseball, NFL.
Well, it's a regular thing for advertisement. It's the regular aspect of the game. Hey, if you bet now, here's what you could win if they still win the game. You know,
it's so part of the ads. Now you get in trouble for doing it. So there must be something else to the story. Unless you're betting for your own self or your own team to lose, there's obviously nothing wrong with it. Unless you said if they're underage or there's some kind of guidelines or rule book for that university that they can't do it. But it's hard to make a big press article about this when it's in your face the other way.
Yeah. And to me, I think swimming would be the hardest one to fix because you can't see how the other guy's doing. You can't go, oh, I'll miss this catch or I'll overthrow this ball. You go a little slower, you still might be winning, depending who the guy is. So, that'd be a hard one to throw, I think.
And once again, they didn't give a warning. This is an outright suspension. So We don't know the specifics. Please comment.
I'd have to look more into the story. I saw the headline. If you want to read more on it, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Could be a good read. The Frozen Confines. Wrigley Field's going to host a game. Women's hockey this year. Ohio State and Wisconsin. So Wisconsin team and Ohio team are going to play in Illinois.
Okay.
Again, that's
under
NCAA and TV money for you right there.
Yes.
And now look at the scoreboard. They got a new scoreboard for the Huskies. The top one is their old scoreboard. See that little jobby right there above the backboard?
Yeah. And
now look below how big it is. Don't tell me women's sports isn't paying off in college. 120-foot video board.
Wow.
So, just saying.
Women's basketball, it's where it's at.
Now, granted, it's at UConn, who the Final Four is the UConn Invitational, basically, but still. Wow. Now, everybody kept saying, oh, Kevin Durant, he's got 4 gold medals in a row. He's great. Deanna Taurasi says, hold my beer. 6 gold medals in a row for her. And the first woman to win 6 gold in an Olympic team sport. Everybody for the men is all getting all their stuff in an uproar and hard and wanted to show everybody their stuff. Oh, Kevin Durant's got 4 gold medals in a row. Yeah, well, good for you.
So, and back to this selecting the roster for the women's. This was obviously, I think, part of it as well. She was healthy. She had a potential chance to get the gold. No one's got 6. But there's others with 5, right? You're showing the clip of 4, but there's others with.
No, Durant's got 4. She's got 6. That's it.
Okay. Oh, a team sport. Got it.
Team
so
sport.
She already had 5. So
like Simone Biles has so many gold medals, but only a couple as USA team gymnastics.
Gotcha. So 6.
She's got individuals thrown in there too. So yeah.
So the question was she, because of her age, would she normally in a normal situation have been on the roster for the women's basketball when you have Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark type of stars upcoming to be on the roster? The question is, they wanted Diana on it, of course. Now, the championship game, they win the gold. She's on the bench. I don't think she even played a minute. She was in her warm-up.
She didn't play too much, but she still played. But yeah, she wasn't.
She did. So she wasn't really a leader. She played. So she got the gold medal. But that in turn, I think, is the flip-flop to that is the women's Olympic USA team had the attendance way down, the tickets way down. No one watched their games. People didn't go to them to watch it because they're excited about Caitlin Clark being on the team, which someone originally said when the NCAA finals was over for basketball that she was going to be on the team. So there was
some reports saying she was on the team. Yeah.
So Cheryl Reeves had to go back and backtrack and say, no, she's not on the team. And in fact, we're not even thinking of inviting her because we already have a squad. Well, part of the squad was this old player, Diana Taurasi,
a couple years ago was playing
that
in the
probably in a normal situation would not have made an Olympic team because of the age. But they wanted to get her the gold. She's a Mount Rushmore of women's basketball.
Yes.
So I get that whole thing, but they also paid the price financially for making that decision, I think, the Olympic group.
Caitlin Clark, most assists by a rookie in NBA and WNBA history, and she still has 12 games left. I think we said at the beginning of the year, watch her for her assists, not her points.
You said that. You had said right from the beginning, Andy, your prediction was she's going to do really well with assists and steals and other things, not necessarily in points. And there she is, racking up the assists. And the other old veterans were saying she's going to have a hard time even making an impact on the league. She's going to have a hard time doing anything. This league is way much different than what she's used to. She is going to have a hard time getting her feet under her. That turned out to be not the case. She's doing just fine, still up there in points for points. But the assist is actually breaking records. So once again, this is not just the best player of the year. This is a once in a generational talent. Is once again the big difference with Angel Reese and everything else. Caitlin Clark is a Michael Jordan type of player, a once in a generation. You don't see that. Yes, there's other good players, but That's why you have to add her to the Olympic team. You have to add her to the All-Star. You've got to get her in front of everything, but that's what's selling. That's what people want. So
there is a stat or a rule in the WNBA that if you get 7 technicals in a season, you are suspended. She has 5 so far this year. She's fiery. She's passionate. So she's got to keep her mouth shut and not get suspended.
Yeah, I did see that there was some, she apologized for the most recent one and felt, thanks for doing it because it helps me keep me in line. But she does have to keep that in check.
Yeah. So the refs aren't letting her get away with stuff because she's Caitlin Clark. Have they maybe called them a little early because she's Caitlin Clark? I don't know. But yes. Also, the New York Liberty have already clinched. They're in the playoffs. They're just a machine. Watch for them to go far. Okay, report. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. He put on Twitter or X, protect your daughters. ESPN made him take it down because it was on his ESPN account. Just saying. They made him take him down, but what else did ESPN do this week? The one woman reporter who says men shouldn't be in women's sports, she got let go. Sam Ponder, Christian Ponder's wife.
Yes.
The only woman in the network who publicly said men don't belong in women's sports, 3 weeks before the football season, she's fired.
So the question,
I think not.
So the question is, once again, was it because they did something that was inappropriate or wrong? Not in this case, because now we go into this woke category that you can't say something that goes against the narrative that ESPN has signed up to. So now they've got to fire and get rid of these people that don't subscribe to the narrative. It's not because this is right or wrong. Her comment was absolutely correct, right?
Well, and here's the thing.
There's nothing wrong with it. So now you're really double speaking when you sign up for these woke topics and woke culture. Now you get the backlash. What are you going to do? They have to fire her, but no one's going to watch ESPN soon.
Does Fox or CBS sign her? And NBC won't sign her. They're more woke than ESPN is.
And they all are. So that's the question. What
Fox
do they
would be
do?
the only one I could see maybe doing it, but they'd maybe put her on the 10 to 11 pregame, not the main pregame show. You know what I mean?
Now, if you go back a clip, if you can go back to that previous slide, Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Now, what did he say that was wrong? Nothing.
He's supposed to, quote, protect our daughters.
Okay, so is there anything wrong with that? No, that's a thing any father would say.
But
in any sport,
you'd
be applauded for saying something like that coming from a dad. Protect your daughters. I would say that. I think you yourself would too when it comes to sports. So nothing's wrong with the statement itself. If he posted that on his own timeline, personal, there'd be no problem. But he's working for a company that doesn't want those kinds of things being said. Therefore, he is now fired because he posted it on that timeline. So that's what's wrong with the whole narrative pushing. Your job in sports is not to push a narrative. Your job is to report sports. And so that's how you get yourself into these cycles for these companies that do this. Now you're painting yourself into the corner. So
the FCS preseason poll, South Dakota State 1, North Dakota State 2. Oklahoma State hosts South Dakota State August 31st. Colorado hosts NDSU on the 29th.
Yes.
So these top 1 and 2 teams are not taken. They're playing big schools. Now Colorado was 4-8 last year, but you're the big name school. You're Deion Sanders. Ooh. Oklahoma State, you're the big bad Oklahoma State. Do both FCS teams win? Does one of them win? This will be a very interesting weekend right here.
And so, Andy, today's the 19th. So 29th, we're 10 days away from this first game. And you're right. The reason the big schools like, Minnesota used to do this Division I, play the local teams. Mm-hmm. But then they found that if they lost, they are wrong. And if they won, they were wrong. It's a lose-lose.
When you're a team like the Gophers who barely makes a bowl game anyway, you can't afford to have one of these games like this. You got to get your gimme games against, middle Utah State and stuff like that, So
this will be interesting, like you said, for the big schools, because now you're expected to beat these guys handily. and for the small schools who have nothing to lose and a chance to play against the big dogs. So
And
this
get a
is gonna
nice
be
check,
fun.
too, for going there.
This is going to be fun.
NDSU's got the home and home with Colorado, but this game's in Colorado. It's the opening weekend game on a Thursday night, so it's going to be a big name draw. Not that North Dakota State needs it, but they're getting a nice check for this game, a bigger check than they'll get in any other regular season game. They'll probably get more in this game than they roll all year, their other games combined. So how can you say no to this game if you're NDSU or SDSU? Of course, you want to play these games.
Yeah, there's no bad situation there. And for the big schools, there's no real good outcome because
Colorado's got everything to lose.
You're out there now, and the nation's watching because now if you lose, it's what are you doing? Now,
if NDSU wins, are you gonna still see Deion in every prime time, every pregame show all year long again, or no?
Yeah.
How much could this cost Deion and ad money if they lose this game, or even if they don't win big? How can this could cost his son, who's supposed to be the number one pick next year? They don't win or do very well. He takes 4 sacks against NDSU. Ooh, he might be the number 4 pick now, not the number 1 pick.
So it's interesting. I like that they're integrating this, but it also goes to show that you really should stick in your own divisions because of the conversation we just had. It's just it's 2 different levels of schools. Yes, the athletes at North Dakota State and South Dakota State are tremendous athletes. You're still going D1. I mean, you're good. Are you a 5-star athlete, a 4-star recruit like the Oklahoma State and Colorado kids? I don't know, but it's still a good game. This is not junior varsity kids. Let's just say the athletes.
Deion take a lot of his? Yeah, Deion's coaching Division II before or FCS before this, and took those players. So he's got guys that are FCS experienced too. So it's not like they're all 5-star recruits at Colorado.
Yes. That's why it'll be good. It'll be fun to see it, but we'll see if this kind of thing happens going forward.
Now, AEW Pro Wrestling has their World's End pay-per-view Saturday, December 28th in Orlando, Florida. WWE has a pay-per-view that same day, Saturday 28th in Orlando, Florida. AEW's was booked first. Not saying they get the day. So this will be interesting. Not only are they both on the same day, they're in the same town. I'm sorry, WWE is not a pay-per-view. It's just an event. They're just having a live event there. Just a regular house show, they call it.
Got it.
But they're going to have a regular holiday tour show, same town, opposite AEW's World's End. Now, I don't know how big Orlando is. I failed geography. But it'll be like if AEW had a pay-per-view at US Bank Stadium, but over at XL, WWE had an event going on.
Well, so here is what I think. Orlando's a big enough city, but the timing here. So people go south for the Christmas holiday break, New Year's break. It's on that week that the kids are off of school. Families go there. There's lots of things to spend money and do there in Orlando. And Orlando's a big city with lots. It's drawing on that, or should I say it's manipulating a lot of people that are already going to be there and only drawing more people down. So it's all about the cash there.
One thing with WWE is every year when they have WrestleMania, it's a 2-day event now in a town, and not AEW, but a lot of other small independent groups will go to that same town or a town right next to it to have an event that weekend or during that week because they know there's wrestling fans in town. And that drives WWE up a wall. Everybody's riding their tailcoats. Yeah, here they are.
It is interesting.
So, soapbox time.
Yes.
Not wear my Mets hat. I should for this.
Okay.
I was upset all week about this.
Okay.
Yes, we had one of her memes on our show. We got in her 15 minutes of fame.
Yes.
Moment's over. The Mets had her throw out the first pitch. She embarrassed herself, embarrassed me as a fan. Her and her friend basically played catch. It wasn't a catch, it was her friend caught, and they did their little chest bump afterwards. They had their pictures. I don't think Haley could spell the word baseball. I was very embarrassed by it. Mets fans weren't happy with it. some of the Mets beat reporters were told they weren't allowed to talk to her after the game because she knows zero. It was and it was an afternoon game. So when you have an afternoon game in the summer, that's when you're getting the kids there. And who do you have? Someone who does a meme about stuff that 11-year-olds shouldn't know about. Yeah, kind of like what you just did there. Yeah. And so then her reply was, and this is the reporter, Matt Dominic, news director at WFIN. Mets fans were less than impressed with the team's decision to invite Haley Welch to throw out the first pitch because the internet personality's popularity is centered around a viral video from June in which she used the phrase to describe sexual acts. So the Mets decided to go with the Hawk 2 girl to throw out the first pitch for a summer camp day giveaway.
Oh, my.
The vast majority of the fans are 11-year-old kids at the ballpark on camp trips. Seriously, what were they thinking? Welch took to social media to acknowledge the criticism Friday and pointed out that her appearance at the game was meant to help spread her important message. So I guess some of the baseball community wasn't happy to see me yesterday, she wrote. The main reason I was there at the game was to spread awareness and donate to the American Vet Dogs, which pairs dogs with war veterans for a forever home. Good cause, don't care.
No, Andy,
could have found another day to do it on. Could have done it on Nickel Beer Night. Would have been a better night to have her there. But really?
Here's a question for just general sports. When they go out and schedule months in advance, or even sometimes the whole season in advance, who's going to sing the national anthem? Who's going to raise the flag at Target Field? Who's going to throw out the first pitch at Target Field? Every Major League Baseball has multiple people throwing out the first pitch. So did they insert her because someone backed out? Was there an opening and they had to slide her in?
They showed that one. Now, I don't know about at Citi Field for sure, but I know I've had the ability to go to some Twins games the last couple of years. They have like 3 opening pitches. Usually someone sort of kind of locally famous, someone from the local business down the street, and some kid who won a drawing.
Okay.
And if it's by chance, it was, say the Twins were playing at home this weekend, they could have got the guys from Metallica to throw it out too because they were in town. You kind of maybe bank for stuff like that. You could have a 4th opening pitch.
Yep.
Did something like this come up where they had, hey, we're going to do something for veterans as an opening? Again, love my veterans. On day camp day, that's the crowd, I mean,
so
they should brought Grimace back out for the opening pitch for day camp day. I mean, come
on. Grimace is a fan favorite. So
in fact, he came back out in the crowd the other day and saved this.
She became popular and went viral in June. So obviously, no one even knew who she was.
When you went to schedule the year, she wasn't a thing.
Or midway through the season. So now June comes along, and it must have been a conversation, in the Mets to say, look, we had someone cancel her back out. Can we get her? She's in town. We could tie this together with the dogs. And I'm sure they got met with pushback by saying, look, it's camp day for the young girls.
Young boys and girls are there. I think the fact that the day it was the issue.
Someone gave the green light to push it through and to make it happen. And that's, I think, what you're getting at here is just, why do you do that? They could have said, look, there's an
intern job here next year.
There's going to be a cancellation down the road next couple of months before the season ends. Have her throw it out then. That's, I think, what you're saying is fine. Have her out there, not on a Sunday and not on camp day. That's the problem. And so now you're sending too many mixed signals. Yes, bad on them.
Quote of the week.
This should be good.
Scoreboard sign at Baltimore during a rain delay. We are currently in a rain delay. The scoreboard operator is hungry and cannot leave. Please send the pizza. Perfect.
I like it.
That's perfect.
That's good.
One more thing. I think we've all seen the stories. When I saw this, it's like, oh, of course, everybody's heard this, but you know what? I got to kill 3 more minutes. So here we go. Max Muncy. Max Muncy left was drafted by the A's in 2012. Max Muncy on the right was drafted by the A's in 2021. They both share a birthday, August 25th.
See, this is one of those coincidences. What's the likelihood of Major League Baseball with
And
30 teams?
Muncy is not a Smith or an Anderson or a Jones name, let alone Max Muncy.
And they go and draft him. Most recently, they end the year they got drafted, flipping the 12 and the 21. Same exact name with the same birthday. So that's bizarre. Now, here's one that you'll like, Andy. In the St. Paul Saints organization, there's 2 players on the same roster named Diego Castillo. One's a pitcher, one's an infielder. So how rare is that? Yes, it's rare. But Diego, common name, Castillo, common name. Put the 2 together, not unheard of. Is it random? Yes, it's random to have that. Max Muncy, that is very bizarre.
Yeah. That's all I got, sir. That's my little how fast I went. Geez, I went long. But hey, that's
well, we've got a trivia question and we got one more thing on baseball, I think.
Hit the baseball note first. Baseball
note. Andy showed the beginning, the program. When you go into the state amateur baseball tournament, you get a program. You don't get one. It's an $8, I believe it's $8 purchase to get a program. With it comes a companion piece. So this will come with the 8. The program, we're on page 42 of the actual program. It's a color printed, nice kind of glossy program. What comes with it is the black and white paper edition, which is consisting of all the teams in the tournament, their entire roster, a recap of each of the teams that are there, how they got there, who their roster's made up of, and the giant bracket. And so remember to make sure you have both pieces when you get your $8 purchase there, the program itself, and then the kind of what I call the roster brackets, things that you can take a pen and mark up and write in. But we're on page 42 of the actual program itself. You get them both wherever site you go to come into the game.
And friend of the show, Jeremy Quass, brought up to me, he's got a nephew, I believe, or cousin nephew had a write-up on page 46 in that same catalog. So
yeah, I read that. So Jeremy's relative.
Look at that article too.
Very good article. I read the article. It talks about kind of us, not us, Andy, but it talks about how important radio is for the state tournament. Live streaming, media, Twitter, X, Facebook, podcasts such as this. There's many ways to watch or many ways to follow the state baseball tournament. If you can't get access to go, you can certainly, there's fans from 48 teams that are coming for just Class C alone. Granted, the teams as they lose are done and eliminated, but to follow for certain players, family members that are on certain teams, very easy to follow. Lots of available options. So the trivia question.
Yes.
Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold, his grandfather, his late grandfather, is known for being who or what? Do you have any guesses?
I'm going to take a guess here.
Was he on the Tonight Show? No.
Was he the guy who created the big, transformer-looking guy that Fox uses for football?
Good question. Good answer. That's not it. Yeah, so it would have been something like that. But Sam Darnold's grandfather, Andy, is the Marlboro man. The cigarette ads, the big Marlboro ads, Marlboro cigarette ads.
Had the mustache, the cowboy.
Dick Hammer, his name is. That's his grandfather who died, but he did many, many ads for Marlboro magazines with the scruff, the tough-looking cowboy with the cap on, riding a horse with a cigarette in his mouth. I did some research on this. There were 4 Marlboro men in those ads over the years. 4 of them were featured. One of those was Sam Darnold's grandfather. So if you're a Jets fan, I'm sure you knew that already. Here in Minnesota, he's new. I was hoping to get the funny little quip on our trivia here for the local Minnesota fans. But yes, he's the grandson of the Marlboro man. Great talk. Great discussion you can have around the campfire on this one or at a bar. A great trivia question, Andy.
All that money he made on cigarette ads paid for his kids' college education.
Exactly. But that's all I've got. We'll have more baseball, football, NFL. We've got some preview shows coming up relating to college Big Ten and NFL Vikings. We've got some preview shows coming up with special guests. So look forward to those.
Some of the preview shows, keep an eye on Spotify because it might be audio only. So keep an eye on our social media.
Spotify page. Used to be the old Anchor
Yes.
site, but that's now Spotify. Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.